On the night of March 2nd, 1991, Rodney King and two passengers, Bryant Allen and Freddie Helms, were driving west on Foothill Freeway, Interstate 210 in the San Fernando Valley area of Los Angeles. Prior to driving on the Foothill Freeway, the three men had spent the night watching a basketball game and drinking at a friend's house in LA. After being tested 5 hours after the incident, King's blood alcohol level was found to be just under the legal limit. This meant that his blood alcohol level can be estimated at approximately 0.19, nearly 2.5 times the legal limit in California when he was driving. Am I Rodney King to blame? I said, am I Rodney King to blame? I said, who's to blame? Is it really my fault that I should be the victim of a brutal assault? I was on parole and I didn't want to go back to the pen. So when I saw the police, I took off driving at speeds in excess of 110. I had been drinking and just hanging out with some friends. Blood level 2.5 times what it should have been. Just another black beast. By the white man, that's the way that I'm viewed. So fuck the police, I'm a nigga with an attitude. By this point, several police cars and a helicopter had joined in the pursuit. After approximately 8 miles, officers cornered my car, guns ready to shoot. The first 5 LAPD officers to arrive at the scene were Lawrence Powell, Timothy Wynn, Theodore Brasino, Rolando Solano, and Stacy Coon. Ordered to swarm me and tie me up like a baboon. Yo, get off me, chump. I resisted with a grin. All I can hear in my head is MC Ren. Lights start flashing behind me, but they scared of a nigga, so they mace to blind me. But that shit don't work, I just laugh, because it gives them a hint not to step in my path. To the police I'm saying, fuck you punk, read my rights and shit, it's all junk. Pulling out a silly club so you can stand with a fake ass badge and a gun in your hand. But take off the gun so you can see what's up, and we'll go at it, I'm gon' fuck you up. Wow, next I was jolted with a taser and fell to the ground. Still I rise because I won't be bound. What happened next, you ask? It's all a blur, but thank God for George Holiday, he videotaped what would occur. Powell and Wynn applied blows to my head. Kick hard tied me and left me for dead. Broken ankle, kidney damage, broken cheekbone, brain damage, broken teeth, 11 fractures to my dome. Over 56 baton blows and 6 kicks. Was freedom really worth all this? I wonder, was freedom really worth all this? I wonder, was freedom really worth all this? Maybe so. Holiday got it videoed, broadcast all across the nation. Yo, I'm about to get justice and compensation. 4 officers charged with excessive force. Let the system take its course. 10 white, 1 Latino, and 1 Asian juror in the trial at Simi Valley. Verdict, not guilty. Nah, I'm going back to Cali. Looting and rioting, violence and death, fire and mayhem. No police, everyone is left to fend for themselves. How did this happen? What was the course? If I had just pulled over, would all of this have been resolved? Who's to blame? Was it me because I chose to flee? Or is it because I'm black? Eazy-E thinks that it's a fact. Yo, fuck the police, coming straight from the underground. Young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown and not the other color, so police think that they have the authority to kill a minority. Fuck that shit, cause I ain't the one for a punk motherfucker with a badge and a gun to be beaten on and thrown in jail. We can go toe to toe in the middle of a cell. So am I to blame? Me, Rodney King? Or am I just a victim of police brutality? Could it be the fact that justice never prevails? Or is it because Koreans are killing our brothers and sisters and never going to jail? In Official Negligence, author Cannon persuasively notes, Judge Carlin never should have been assigned the due trial as her first trial. A highly emotional murder trial involving the shooting of 15-year-old Latasha Harlins in a Korean-owned market 13 days after the beating of King. One of several shooting incidents in South Central involving Koreans and African Americans. But I'm the face connected to the LA riots. But is that fair to me? What about the lack of professionalism by the LAPD? Yeah, I resisted arrest, and that's plain to see. But author Lou Cannon agrees with me. In his review of the LAPD, Cannon notes the evolution of the LAPD and the dragnet legacy, but devotes the most attention to the changes in the LAPD policy on subduing resisting suspects, including a 1992 shift from chokeholds that had killed 15 suspects in 7 years to the use of metal baton rather than a swarm tactic of having officers drag a suspect to the ground. As Cannon bluntly points out, Lawrence Powell had failed to demonstrate a proper use of the baton the evening of the King arrest. His supervisor told him to practice and sent him out on patrol as a training officer for Timothy Wynn. Powell was a uniformed accident in waiting and an example of official negligence at its worst, Cannon writes, angrily describing this sad comment on the professionalism of the LAPD. But what about the rise in unemployment, crime, gangs, and drugs? Couldn't they see that this was a dangerous recipe? Racial tensions between Latinos and blacks made it so easy for brutal attacks. But the police, they were nowhere to be found. Cannon illustrates how the riots could have been prevented by leadership on the ground. When the robbery of a liquor store near the intersection of Florence and Normandy attracted outraged protesters, and the few LAPD officers near the scene could not handle the eruption, the 77th Street Lieutenant withdrew officers and kept them away from the spreading disturbance. In his office for 3 hours before leaving for the fundraising meeting, Chief Gates failed to take charge. Some 1,800 officers gathered at a command post, but superior officers lacked the initiative to send them out against the spreading riot publicized by helicopter news crews. And when Chief Gates returned at 8:15, he spent another hour out of touch on a helicopter tour of the burning city. Cannon suggests that if the LAPD had responded in force to the outbreak and then established a perimeter around the immediate area, that despite some casualties, the riot could have been stopped. In the chapter on the riot, Nightmare City, Cannon very judiciously assesses not only the action and inactions of the officials, but also the complaints of African Americans, Latinos, and Korean Americans over the failure of the LAPD to protect them, their property, and their communities, as well as the efforts of individuals from all these groups to rescue people being assaulted by the rioters, as well as firemen trying to fight the spreading fires. Damn! Do you have no shame? Haven't I, Rodney King, taken all the blame? Yet and still you use me as a pawn in the media to proclaim. People, I just want to say, can we all get along? Can we all get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids? It's just not right. It's not right. It's not going to change anything. We'll get our justice. They won the battle, but they haven't won the war. Please, can we all get along here? We all could get along. I mean, we're all stuck out here for a while. Let's try to work it out. Let's try to beat it. Let's try to beat it. Let's try to work it out. F that. The black man in a fit of rage, trying to break out, sick and tired of being caged, tired of abuse and police brutality. Subline speaks the truth and brings us back to reality. They said it was for the black man, They said it was for the Mexican and not for the white man. But if you look at the streets, it wasn't about Rodney King. It was about this fucked up situation and these fucked up police. It's all about coming up and staying on top and screaming 187 on a motherfucking cop. Danger, volatile towards a stranger. Danger, danger, danger. Taking out frustrations on everybody without a cause. Caught up in the moment and don't even give a pause. Origins, the riots were neither a gang conspiracy nor a revolt against the harsh conditions, but a cry of black rage, suggests Cannon, who points out the initial black participants indiscriminately attack whites, Latinos, and Asians. Cannon notes the targeting of Korean-owned shops, the shift of Latinos from being victims to becoming participants on the second day as the media showed looting opportunities and how the riot jumped around the city. So ponder everything, rethink about it. Could one man's beating cause people to throw an enraged fit? Think, think, think. Could it really be me, Rodney King, that caused all of this? Or could it really just be that a black man is pissed?